frame after another. If you are actually the projectionist, you know that you can look at all the frames at the same time. They all exist at once. You can stretch out the film strip and see dozens of frames simultaneously. But you know that the illusion of one frame, one moment, coming after another is created when you flow that film strip through the projector and project it onto the screen to create the illusion of movement and change. This is actually, in a sense, how physical reality works. It's how it's actually structured. The idea, really, is to begin with the question, what actually is time? So let us address the idea of what time is to begin with, so that we can then, after that explanation, further address the concept that you experience as time travel. What is time? Good question. Thank you. Time travel. Understand, as we have to explain, the idea of the different frames on a film strip. One frame exists completely independently of another. Likewise, the idea of physical reality, space-time experience, is the product of your consciousness shifting from one parallel reality to another, and another, and another, and another, like a projector light shining through frames of film. But your consciousness skips and shifts through those independent parallel reality frames literally billions of times per second. By shifting from one frame to another, one parallel reality to another, billions of times per second, you create the effect, the side effect, the experience and illusion of change, movement, time. Because each frame, just like on the film strip, each parallel reality, just like a frame, has no time, no movement. Timeless, frozen snapshot. This is one parallel reality. This is another parallel reality in total. This is another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. You are literally shifting your consciousness through billions of frozen snapshots to create the illusion of movement and change, and that side effect is called time. Therefore, because all parallel realities, all frames exist at once, when you experience the idea called time travel, which in a sense you're doing all the time anyway by shifting from one parallel reality to another, billions of times a second, you're already time traveling. But the idea is that you are shifting to another parallel reality that is completely independent of the parallel reality moment you may have experienced a moment ago. Let's run over this again. The idea in your classic science fiction works is that when you step into your so-called time machine and you go to the so-called past or the so-called future, which again, from our perspective, actually simultaneously coexist with what you call the present. The idea is that you're not actually stepping into your own past or your own future. You are actually simply experiencing another parallel reality simultaneously coexistent with your own that simply happens to be at a place in its history that to you appears to be the future, or to you appears to be the past, but it's not your past. It's not your future. You weren't there. You were in another parallel reality past, another parallel reality future. But you have slipped over to one that seems so similar to what you experienced in your parallel reality past that you think it's the same one, and in fact, it is not. Therefore, there can actually be no such thing as the so-called grandfather paradox. Is there anyone who's not familiar with that idea of the grandfather paradox? Yes. All right. So the idea, as your scientists have proposed it, is the concept that